going on, everybody? Welcome to the East Coast Red and Gold podcast. I'm Niners Jess, along with Ty Alston, Maddie B, and your girl Bex is inactive tonight. What's going on, guys?
Then much. Wednesday schedule finally.
Yes, it is
Happiness.
Wednesday, May
We can
14th. The
plan
schedule
our
is officially out.
lives.
Man, listen.
It's awesome. Before we get into it, first we are brought to you by Faithful Gear. Get your customized Niners gear at faithfulgear209.com. Again, that's faithfulgear209.com. All right, so Maddie, are you wearing a Boston Celtics jersey?
I'm wearing the jersey of the late great Reggie Lewis from 1987 to
Oh, wow.
1988.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
There
Yes,
you go,
yes,
back
yes.
for ya.
Because tonight is
All
a rather
right.
large game for my beloved Celtics. So,
Yes,
I
it
didn't know
is.
you were a Celtics fan.
well, yeah, Celtics and Bruins. That's my stuff up here. That's my Boston. That's my Bostonness. That's it. That's all you get. So. No Red Sox, no Pats. It's no
All
harm
right,
intended
all
to
right.
either of those teams, but they're not my teams. So
I'm hoping that the Knicks win tonight.
they'll absolutely win because Knicks Pacers is like, that's just how that works. Like
Yeah.
it's just, that's predestined in the stars. I'm actually really surprised that Orlando's not involved somehow. So yeah, no, Knicks Pacers for sure. But we'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah, it'll be the first time that the Knicks go to the Eastern Finals, the first time in 25 years. Crazy.
I know.
It's a
Everything
long
old is
time.
new again. Everything
Yes.
old
It all
is
comes back
new
around.
again. Yes.
All right, so let's switch gears to 49ers football. First, there is no international game
Nope.
this year.
Keep your passports in your pockets unless, of course, you don't have a real ID.
Exactly.
Yeah, I actually have to go for my real ID. I made an appointment for August. It's crazy.
Oh, man. I was at the DMV the other day with my son, and I swear to you, every 2 seconds, it was like, hi, I'm here for real ID, but everybody was saying it in their main accents, and it was tremendous. So I did that
Well,
last year,
what
and I'm
they're-
so unbelievably happy that I can't even tell you how
Yeah,
happy I
got
am.
mine
that I
early.
made the
Yep.
decision a
And
long
what
time
they're
ago.
doing though, it's called Real ID Tuesdays. So every
Really?
yeah, like if you're not
Are there
eligible
tacos involved?
to if you're not eligible to renew your license in the next 3 months and you're just going to upgrade, you can make an appointment then. So that's how I did it because I already had renewed my license.
Yeah.
So I could just go in and get an appointment. And because if you just go the Real ID route, like there's no appointments whatsoever.
Gotcha.
All right.
Wow.
So
That's
there's no
crazy.
international game, although Matt Mayoko said that a while ago.
Yeah.
That there wouldn't be.
Nothing new.
We are the 5th most in miles traveled.
Which makes sense. I mean, you're
As
looking
usual. I mean,
at you
yeah.
go Meadowlands, Houston, Indianapolis, and New Orleans, right? That's basically the same line. Tampa. So there's 5 of them right there,
Yeah.
and Cleveland.
Yeah. So we're literally flying across the country numerous times. Like, and that always happens. Unfortunately.
It does, however, unlike last year, look like they're not getting completely screwed on, short weeks and
Yes.
this, that, and the other, right? The rest looks fair this year, which it was not
It's
fair
better.
last year. And yeah, there's some primetime games this year, and we're all excited about that, but there's not an obscene buttload of primetime games, right? 5 is about right for this franchise, unless they've completely fallen off the map into the Tom Sula era, right? They're usually going to get at least 2 a year token. So yeah, that makes sense. And bless the souls of all those thou art in heaven. No Thursday night game in Seattle,
I
this
know.
year. Praise
Imagine
be. Hallelujah. Holy shit.
Oh, that's
Where's
right.
the Tylenol? First time in like 47 years.
I'm
Mother
saying.
of pearl.
Yeah, that's right.
I was
Stupid
shocked to see
fish.
Seattle week 1. What?
Every Thursday night game. Yeah,
So-
throw the fish, catch the fish, throw the fish, catch the fish.
By my count, there's 5 primetime games.
Yes.
Week 5 at the Rams, that's Thursday night football. Week 7
Correct.
versus the Falcons, that's Sunday night football.
Yep.
Week 12 versus the Panthers, that's Monday night football. Week 16 at the Colts is Monday night football, and then week 17 versus the Bears is Sunday night football.
Yeah.
Yep. And I mean
think
that
about
week
it.
17 versus the Bears could be flexed. So I mean honestly, any of those games after like week 10 could be flexed. So
Yeah,
you know,
with this new contract, yeah.
yep.
But 4 of those 5 are at home.
Sure.
So
Yep.
like we don't have to fly across the country and play late and things like that. We'll be at home in cozy confines. So it makes a difference.
I wonder if the week 8 and 9, you got the Texans and the Giants. I wonder if they'll stay in the vicinity instead of going back.
Greenbrier, baby, let's go.
Greenbrier.
Greenbrier.
Fly up.
Greenbrier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Wow,
go.
this is the most energetic and optimistic Maddie has been in a couple
Mhm.
months, I think.
I may be on a new medication tonight. But yeah.
Shout out to the new meds.
Well, I mean, I can
That
literally
helps.
like I can also plan my life too, right? So like we actually got like we all got a serotonin boost directly on air, right? We delayed the start by 5 minutes just to go, right? So yeah. That's where it's at. And like think of all the good things that are happening on this schedule, right? We don't have to see the stupid Cowboys like piss off. Like we don't have to see the Bills again this year. Like the Jaguars, ooh, how rough. Tennessee, rookie quarterback. Robert Saleh is going to eat him for lunch that day, right? Like the Bears. Gee, shucks. I wonder if we know how to stop Ben Johnson offenses. That's strange. Just different things. Like different things that makes me say, hey, you know, like there's a lot of good things in this one. And even the Monday Nighters, like, oh no, we're going to have to take on Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones on Monday Night Football.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh,
So scary.
You know, that's super scary. You know, give me a break. The only thing I'm worried about is hotel prices.
I know. I was looking up a few things before we came on.
I've already
and
got
they're-
everything. I already had like a bunch of stuff like scattered and booked anyways, and I managed to like nail a couple correctly. So I got some
Nice.
really good deals on a few
Awesome.
places without.
Yeah, I
having
mean
to-
they're not
be excited.
flights are not terrible right
Mm-mm.
now.
Gotta
which is
hop right
pretty
on
cool.
it. Hop right on it.
Yeah.
Still very early.
Yep.
So, but yeah.
And the only
Very
people
true.
you need to buy your tickets from, especially your home game tickets to 49ers games,
That guy.
especially your primetime home games, because I cannot be there for the primetime home games. So all yours.
Oh,
Come through.
Bebop hopes to be in East Rutherford.
Yeah.
I want to bring a convoy to East Rutherford with me. Like I wanna
Who would you bring?
I don't know. I want to bring the kids, a few of my friends, but
Mhm.
like other Niners fans from around the state that I've met recently. Like
Okay.
I want like a whole like I want to like remake what I saw when I went to Philadelphia in 2021. That was crazy. That was probably one of the craziest things ever because the 49ers fans equaled the amount of Patriots fans I saw because Patriots fans are going down to play the Patriots went down that day to play the Jets. And on the way back, it was the same amount of colors.
Okay.
And I just you're not gonna see that with any other team. Blew my mind. So
All right. So what game are you? Well, we don't have a Christmas game.
hallelujah.
Thank
See,
you.
another good thing, right? We can just
Yeah.
focus on our fantasy lineups that day, right? And then, you know, pay attention to that after
Just
we're
open
done
presents.
with the family because we can't handle it anymore. Yes.
No Thanksgiving. Well, that's pretty rare anyway. I think,
Yeah.
Which is
I
even
think
better.
The last time we were on Thanksgiving was when we played the Ravens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What game are you most looking forward to?
Giants game because it's in our backyard.
True.
They're finally here. And just because once again in 2020 we got robbed. In 2020, we got robbed.
Yeah, I had
excited.
Jets and Giants
Back to
booked.
back.
Yep.
Back to back. Early in the season.
Jets,
good
Giants,
weather.
Patriots.
I was hyped.
Jets, Giants, Patriots.
I was doing cartwheels.
Yep.
And COVID robbed. So I'm excited for that one.
It was kind of a blessing in disguise though, because those games, as far as the ACL tears that we experienced.
Well, yeah. I mean,
You
we
know?
won those games, but
True.
they were rough.
Yeah.
They were rough. Yeah.
What do you think, Maddie?
Houston. I want to see how they match up with D'Amico Ryans as a head coach versus Kyle. Like I love those matchups and those strategic matchups, and those usually don't end up well for the head coach. Like, so I'm going to be real interested to see how that all works out. And then I think if you want a runner up, the New Orleans game in week 2. Because New Orleans is probably in all likelihood going to be starting a rookie quarterback or an almost rookie quarterback.
Yeah, Derek Carr retired.
And
if
who
they're starting, yeah.
And if they're in tank for Manning mode or tank for whatever mode at this point, which I don't think really they are, but like nobody's going to admit that they are. But their talent levels are definitely not up to where they have been. So if you can start off with a win against Seattle and a win against New Orleans on the road, you start off 2-0, and then you come back for your home game. You know, you could easily start this year off 4-0, especially with Jacksonville coming down in week 4. I mean, Mac Jones is going to tell you everything you need to know about Jacksonville. I'm just kidding. They get new head coaches now, but you know what I mean. Like,
so Bebop says Salah had a damn good draft in 2017. I hope it carries over into 2025.
He's joking, right? Bebop, you joking, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Something tells me that
He's
will.
Joking.
I feel like it was a jokey.
Salah didn't draft in 2017, and
he did this year though, at least for the first 5 rounds.
He didn't draft these players.
I know.
We all know this is a John Lynch draft.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me Tyler Shuff in week 2.
They're gonna be starting some dude off the street the way they're going.
Show me the way.
Yeah.
Tyler Shuff or Spencer Rattler, I don't care. I mean, and if it's Jake Hayner, like, gosh golly, even better. You know what I mean? Sign me up. Sign me up now.
What do you guys think about starting it off in Seattle?
Good. Get it out the way early.
Yeah.
Get it out the way early. I hate going up there. Like, let's get it out the way early. Hey, Dawn. And it's a change of pace. Like Matt said, like, so every year it was like Thursday. And then before that, we're always at Seattle near the end of the season. There was like no variety to it. It's like, hey, beginning of the season, fresh, awesome. Let's get it out the way. You know, we don't have to go up there and deal with cold and weather and stuff, even though the past few times it's been pretty nice. But still, let's get it out the way early, set a tone for the division early. We know Seahawks fans like to talk smack, and their players have been talking smack. Let's go up there and smack them up early.
Smackety smack them.
Yeah, Maddie said this earlier. For once, we're not at Seattle on a Thursday.
God, I can't tell you how excited I am about that.
Yeah.
Not from a selfish standpoint, but yes, purely from a selfish standpoint.
Week 2 at the Saints. Thoughts?
Rebuilding.
Yeah,
rebuilding.
They're you know, people talked about us rebuilding. That's a rebuilding team. That's a team in flux, right? Like you don't even know who they're going to put on the field. So
yeah,
it's going to be fun and exciting. You know, that's one to circle on the go-to away game trip. New Orleans is always fun.
Home opener versus the Cardinals.
Good stuff. Yeah, that's going to be fun. I like getting division games, you know, at home early. Although, didn't we play the Cardinals in week 3 last year at home? Pretty sure we did. I believe that was week 3.
I don't remember.
Was it that early?
Cardinals are always a pain in the
No.
ass at Levi's for some reason. Doesn't matter who the
Yeah.
starting quarterback is. Doesn't matter what's going on. It just always seems to
They
be
are.
a thing against them. So, and I expect Arizona to be a pain in the ass next year. Honestly, I've in my mind like thinking more and more like that one might actually, we'll see. Like if I'm looking ahead on games, I could see that one maybe being one that they don't particularly react well to, especially after 2 road games. So
We played the Cardinals week 5 last year. Sorry, my bad.
It was still pretty early.
I knew it was early.
Yeah,
I knew it was
early in the
early.
year, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah, I
you
like
can't
having
sleep on the cards.
2 division games early. Let's set a tone, get things going. One on the road, one at home, versus 2 thorns in our side. Right? Those teams can be thorns. Well, playing in Seattle is just a thorn because Seattle's freaking dumb. But like Matt said, the Cardinals, if for some reason, the Cardinals are always weird, especially at home. I don't know what it is. Weird things just happen. It's odd. But yeah, we definitely. I know last year's game versus them at home has left a bad taste in the mouths of these players, especially the offense. So I think they're going to want to get some get back, and to be able to get it back early should prove very good for us.
What's up, Jason? He's been wanting an early season Seattle game and finally got one.
Yeah, there you go, buddy. Finally, right?
I mean, it'll probably still rain, but whatever.
Week 4 versus the Jags.
Seems like we play the Jags every year now.
I know.
It's nice to have them
At least-
here for once.
I
Right?
was about
It's
to
nice
say
to
that,
have them
yeah.
at home. They're this is another team, first year head coach, right? Yeah, they've
First-year
got
head
Trevor
coach.
Lawrence. He's got a new system. He's got new players. They've overhauled their receiving core,
Mm-hmm.
redoing their defense. Like, do you expect them to be a finished product by week 4? Probably not.
Exactly.
I feel like
But-
this is it for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, he better like show some
He's
sort
gotta
of
show up.
like
Show
Yeah,
some improvement, something.
a forward step needs to be taken for Mr. Lawrence.
Mhm.
You are not wrong.
But we know this team, and we know the offense they're going to be running because we played against it last year, right? So we have a full game of experience against it. So should be a good one.
Week 5 at the Rams. Levi South.
Levi South.
It's a
Which we
home
played
game.
The Rams week 3 last year.
Yeah, they just flip flop those two basically.
I know. that's
Weird,
where
isn't
my
it?
mind is going. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going across the pond anytime soon, even though we got a
Nope.
big contingent there and everything. I think the success in Mexico is just
Yeah.
too much to ignore. And the league knows it. They're all about revenue and expanding the game and blah, 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 blah. And we got a huge following within the Latin American community. I think that'll be our stomping grounds. Just the way
Yep.
the Jags go, across the pond, across the waters to the UK every year, we'll be heading south. It just makes sense. And it's easier to travel on us. So I wanted that for us anyway.
True. That's true. Although I would like to see them in Germany.
Because you want to go to Germany.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to Germany already, but
Uh-huh.
I've been there twice.
Yeah.
But that's part of my heritage, so
Uh-huh.
I always
Right.
like going back.
There you go.
I would
we were talking about the
I would
Rams?
expect them there in 2026 though. I would expect the Mexico game next year, 2026.
Oh yeah,
I
for
I
sure.
can't imagine there won't be one international game for them next year, and when they do, it'll be
Yeah.
in Mexico City.
We talk about the Rams Thursday night, Levi South. That should be rocking. I think people will turn out big time. That'll be another sea of red game. Well, they always are, but I think that will be even more so. Especially just once again, a team we had beat and let it slip away. So I think the team, they'll be wanting their get back, right? Wanting to send the message like, hey, that was a fluke. Just want you to know that it was a fluke. We mean business. So, yeah. Can't wait to see it.
Week 6 at the Bucks.
Bucks still haven't beat us since, I don't know. It's been a bit, right? Even
Ever.
last year. So, okay.
I enjoyed going to Tampa.
Yeah,
That was a
this
lot
is
of fun.
this is their chance. Also, they have some new thing this year that's been put in place so that Bucks fans don't sell their tickets to non-Bucks fans. Starting
Really?
Yeah, there's some shenanigans that they're trying to do.
Huh.
Let's see how that works out.
Odd.
All right, what do you think about the Bucks, Ty?
Who's their coach again? Who'd they hire?
They still have Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
That's right, Todd Bowles. Is the
Jaguars have the new
offensive
coach.
coordinator. That's right. It's the offensive coordinator that left. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. They just can't beat us.
Hopefully, we don't
Right.
have to rely on a kicker this time.
No, hopefully our offense scores.
For sure.
Let's put it that way. Because the kicker won the game last year and he shouldn't even been in that position. Hopefully the offense scores because the defense did their job. Offense didn't. So once again, sour taste in our mouths, right? Like there's no way we shouldn't have been doing this. Get back. Now, Nick Bosa, this is his redemption game. Because we all know what happened last year. When he was going up against a backup and got stoned. Like, dude, you got to step it up.
Yeah. Big time. All right. We got Sunday Night Football, Week 7 versus the Falcons.
That at home?
Yes.
Yep. Michael
He's at
Penix
home.
Jr.
Yep.
That's. I mean, it's going to be up to him, right? It depends.
Yep.
We don't know what type of quarterback Michael Penix Jr. is going to be by Week 7.
No.
He might
No.
take over the league, for real, or he might not. You know what I mean? He might not take over the league at all, and they might have to start Kirk Cousins in that game, and Kirk Cousins comes back to haunt Kyle Shanahan again. You know, there's a multitude of things that could happen, right? But that's a team that they should be able to beat. They're usually pretty good about beating them at home. Not so much in Tampa, in Atlanta, but at home, yes.
Yeah. But what do you call it? Once again, you know, it's not a team we're familiar with, but the coach we are, Raheem Morris.
Mm-hmm.
We know him from the Rams games. Kyle Shanahan is very familiar with him. There shouldn't be any surprises, nothing new, right? So we should go in with a good game plan. At home, atmosphere should be electric. I'm sure it'll be a great game, and it should be one where we walk away easily. Like, it should be fun.
Week 8 at the Texans.
Here we go. D'Amico and that defense versus Kyle and his offense. That's the chess match right there. I think that's the one everybody will have circled on their calendar and be waiting to see who's going to get the better of whom. You would think the mastermind and Kyle would be able to do so, but you never know.
Well, you know, I think this year, I mean, I've said this before that, you know, having Robert Saleh back, you know, on the defense gives Kyle Shanahan that chance to just concentrate on the offense and not having to, you know, burn the candle at both ends, you know, going offense, defense, and, you know, like he has the past 2 seasons. So I think it'll be a good game. And I think out of all the games, out of all the teams on this schedule, I think the Texans is the one that will be circled on most calendars.
Mm-hmm. This is the game to come out and make a statement.
Yeah.
Like, we're for real. Like, we mean business. I think this is the one.
Yep, 100%. That's the measuring stick game for this season. This is the game that will tell you where they are at this year. You know how last year it was probably you know what, I would say the Green Bay game, even though Brock Purdy wasn't supposed to play in that game, the Green Bay game would have been their normal measuring stick game because that's usually how they are. They're a second half of the season team. And, you know, you can kind of tell how the year is going to go, whether or not they can beat Green Bay or not. If they can beat Green Bay, it should be a good year. If they can't beat Green Bay, it's probably going to suck. So that's kind of what happened that year. This Houston game kind of has that same vibe, especially with, you know, so many 49ers connections with his team. And also just, it seems like all the guys that the 49ers draft community want the 49ers to draft, I want to say a third of them all end up going to Houston, right? Just seems like a normal thing, right? So you can play a heavy game of 49er what if, like, oh, what if the 49ers are direct that and get to the Texans? So there's a lot of little interesting tie-ins there, I think. I think there's been a lot of tape watched of both teams. I'll put it that way.
If you are just joining us, we are obviously talking about the 2025 schedule release, and we are talking Week 8 at the Texans. And Bebop says Guerrero CMC, I feel very high on.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
And then he follows up with, maybe we can do this 2-back system finally.
We could have been did it.
Yeah.
Kyle used to do it. Kyle used to do 3 and 4 back system until he got CMC. And now it's like, I don't want to take him off the field. My sister used to babysit him.
Well, you know what, too? Like, you know what, too? Like, they can't rely on the player to be like, all right, I'll come off the field. No, keep me on. You know, like, they have to really put their foot down and be like, look, you're coming off the field.
Yeah. But we always say that, too. Protect the player from themselves.
Right.
Like, if you see a guy get face masked and then on the next play he gets a cheap shot helmet to helmet hit, like, pull him off the field. Dude, come off the field for a minute. Just catch your breath, get your bearings. We'll get you back out there in a couple of plays. But some BS is going on, right? You do things like that. So I really hope they do that this season. Like, yo, protect him from himself. That way we have him for the long haul. Because we're projecting another long season. Last season was short. We're getting back to that long season mindset. So let's make sure he's around for it.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Week 9 at the G-Men.
I don't have to get on a plane.
I know.
I can just drive over.
Right here. Don't need to, stay in a hotel.
Like 30 minutes.
Thinking like a large bus on Saturday and then the large bus leaves on Sunday to go back. Right. That's what I'm thinking.
It's awesome. It's
Sign
also
me
my
up.
birthday. So
All right.
Heck yeah.
What better way to spend it?
What better way to spend your 25th birthday than watching
Exactly.
the San Francisco 49ers whip the
Whoop
crap
the Giants. Exactly.
whoop the Giants. By the way, guys, we'll have 2 preseason games to give away this year. Also, speaking of giving away things,
I
we have
completely
a thing to
forgot.
give away as well.
Go ahead, Manny.
So we do have a 1 ticket to next week's Dwight Clark Legacy event at the Hammer Theater in San Jose. That is next Wednesday. It is in the floor section. It's in the back of the floor section. It was the only one that was left in the back of the floor section. So it is yours free. You just have to show up and go. And of course, the donation that was for the ticket went to the Golden Heart Fund. So you're celebrating a good night. You probably see a lot of cool players there.
Excellent.
They usually have people out there. So I don't know how Jess wants to do giveaways. I don't really.
Well,
someone could email you. Someone could DM you on Twitter. I don't really. It doesn't matter. I just want to make sure a 49er fan goes.
Yeah, I mean, someone could DM me on Twitter. I mean, we could do the number system. Ty, what do you think?
Yeah, either one. You want to pick someone randomly if they DM you, like if a couple of people do, or first come first serve?
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if
We
you're
should do that.
interested in going to the Dwight Clark event next Wednesday, I believe it's May 21st, right?
yes, May
Yeah.
21st, and I believe it's at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So
Okay, so if you're interested in going, just DM me on Twitter, and the ticket could be yours, and it's just one ticket.
just one ticket. Don't worry, there's plenty of 49ers fans there, and you'll know almost all of them, and they'll all say hi to you. It's totally cool. You'll be fine.
All right, so going back to the Giants game, I've had Giant fans come up to me in work already saying by that time the Giants will be done.
Yep. Probably. I mean, honest to God, they could be on an interim coach, guys. Like, I'm
By
not
that
trying to
time,
be
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, you never know.
100%.
I think this is it for Brian Gable.
When is the Giants bye week?
That I don't know.
Yeah, that I haven't had a chance to look up yet. These teams and
If you
their
want to
bye
look that up,
weeks.
Maddie.
I'm gonna do that right now.
Okay.
Boop 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 boop, and I'm not
Hopefully
gonna
this
do it
doesn't
that quickly.
Kill my
so
camera.
Why?
Edit.
Why?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'm still here.
Where's your bye? There you go. There's a.
I don't know.
schedule.
As far as the Giants go, I mean, that should be a win. A
And it
lot
can't
these
be one
games
of those.
should be win.
You know what? It can't be one of those wins either, where it's like we won the battle but lost the war sort of deals, like the last time we played there. You know what I mean? Like we won the game, but like we lost every impact player that had.
I know that turf in MetLife.
We can't have that. You cannot have that whatsoever. The Giants bye week is week 14, just like ours.
Okay,
Interesting.
that is interesting.
That is very interesting. That almost
do
means
the Texans play on turf?
yeah, Texans have
Yes, they do.
terrible turf. Don't you remember Julian Edelman? Or no,
Yes.
it was Wes Welker. Wes Welker, final game of the regular season.
So they have, and I believe the Falcons do too, right?
Yeah, but their turf isn't
Yeah.
nearly as bad. I don't have any bad memories of people having anything happen to them there.
So they have back games on shitty turf.
Great.
Lovely.
I say
Wonderful.
sarcastically. That's not what we needed in any sort of way.
Yeah, so I'm like super pumped for the Giants game, but we'll talk more off the air about it and plans and stuff like that. Week 10 versus the Rams, Levi Stadium.
Oh,
This is a
wrap
game
up
where the
the year.
Rams will be coming off their bye week. I know that.
Ugh. Gross.
Okay.
But Levi should be rocking. Don't sell your tickets. Faithful, go. There were too many Rams fans in the building last year. I don't like it.
I don't even know how that's possible.
I didn't like it. Exactly. There ain't but
Yeah, it's kinda
5 of them,
weird.
and you let all 5 in. That's 5 too many.
Let all 5 in.
5 too many.
It's crazy how they came out of the woodwork after the
Oh man.
after the Super Bowl.
Unbelievable.
Oh, the Ramley,
Ramley.
which is just crazy.
yeah. The place should be
Um,
rocking. Another McVay Shanahan battle. It'd be interesting to see, if Stafford's still playing. Will he get hurt? I don't know. He's at that time in his career where a late season injury could happen, even though I don't want it to happen. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and then if that happens, we could possibly see Jimmy G.
That's right.
Stop it.
The return of James Richard.
Yeah. I mean, that you could see that this year. Absolutely. He could
Yeah.
go, you know what? He could go through the entire 49ers backup QB gauntlet, right? Like he'd go through the whole thing. Go through
Week
all of it.
14 is our bye week, Don,
Yes.
and we'll talk about that. All right, week 11 at the Cardinals.
That's another almost home game for us.
Yeah. Playing in that stinky stadium. Hopefully their field is better. not chopped up at that point in the season, doing
Right.
well. You know,
You know,
you talk about playing on turf, and
that's
go
actually
ahead, sorry.
what Levi Stadium used to be. And now look how far like the grass has come. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they've invested and made sure it's right and wanted to do right by the players. Like, thank goodness. You hope other teams would be that way, but apparently not.
No.
So, but we talked about just coming off of turf, playing on crappy grass fields is just as bad. So hopefully that's all right. But the Cardinals are a team that doesn't scare us. I mean, we had them beat twice last year. I mean, I should say once. I shouldn't count the last game of the season because that was basically the backups didn't count, didn't matter. But that first game, had them beat. They struck no fear in us. We just let them off the hook.
Way off the hook.
Thoughts, Maddie?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the way I look at it too. Like if you look at all the division games, like all those division games should have been wins last year.
Yes.
Like it was just one of those deals where none of them broke right. So, I expect to split with somebody, probably the Rams. Probably be a home and home where we'll win at SoFi and they'll win here because that's just I don't know why. It's just one of those things that happens, right? For no reason other than it just happens. So, that's kind of what I would expect for that one. I think it'll be a tough game. I mean, Arizona has the makings of a playoff contender this year. So, I mean, that could be huge when it comes down to the division.
Yeah. I think we get into the nitty gritty, like, these games starting even like starting with the Giants game, really.
Yep.
Week 12 versus the Panthers. It's Monday Night Football.
Panthers are going to be a sneaky ass team this year.
Monday Night Football.
So I was kind of surprised that they put that as Monday Night Football.
I know.
Have you seen the NFC South lately, ma'am?
The Panthers a bone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, number one, let's just remember that gives them an opportunity to flex that game out of Monday night. So if the Panthers do spit the bit early, they can flop out of that pretty quick, and then it becomes a Sunday game. So if you are planning to go to that one, I would highly, highly suggest booking your trip so that you come in on a Saturday and leave on either late Monday or early Tuesday. And then if it does get moved, you can chop it off, or you can just chop off an early day and come in on Sunday. So,
yeah.
But I actually expect them to be improved this year. The NFC outside of the top teams has a chance this year, especially on the bottom. That 6-7 seed is always up for grabs every year, and they could absolutely. They don't have a really tough schedule. Bryce Young looked like he started to figure it out later last year, right? If Tedero McMillan is the wide receiver that he was drafted to be, and Adam Thielen's farewell tour, he's pretty good for a guy who's thinking about wrapping it up after this year. He's done very well. And Chuba Hubbard, one of the better running backs in football, I'd say probably top 10 at this point. And you're looking at a guy right there that is going to get touches all the time, or rushing, catching, whatever. I don't expect that to be a pushover game. I expect that to be a really tough game, especially if it's on Monday night. If they are at all near 500 or they are at all in contention, they are going to bring it, because the Panthers have been waiting for a Monday night game probably for a very, very long time, right? That's a national exposure game. I don't remember them getting a Monday night game. I think they've gotten Thursday nights, like against Atlanta or whatever, but I don't know if they've gotten any in the last couple of years. And
yeah, you're right.
If they did
have a
Thursday, they weren't good.
Game, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was just. I don't think they've gotten a Monday night game. Monday night's different. Monday night hits different. You know what I mean? So it's. I could see them being highly motivated for that one. For what that's worth.
Hi.
Yeah, they don't scare us. I don't care how motivated they are. Like, come on. Who's their best player? Their right guard.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's a pecking order to this. They're not in our weight class. They're just not. So yeah, that should be a nice Monday Night SmackDown. We might, like you said, that's one that might get flexed out. So fly in on Saturday.
For sure. Week 13 at the Browns.
The Browns, Cleveland in late November. Might have some weather. Dun, dun, dun.
Might be a snow game.
Dun, dun, dun.
Be very
Another
snowy.
redemption game, though. Another chance to be like, all right, last time he was here, things didn't go well. Let's show him who we are.
Browns could absolutely be done by then too, right? Like they could be 2-10 and starting George Sanders or Dylan Gabriel or both.
I was about to say, we just talked about the Saints not knowing who's going to play quarterback. The Browns are in the same category.
Right.
They could literally went through all five. You never know.
They could do the Craig Morton, Roger Staubach stupid thing where, they alternate plays. They really could. I could see, I could totally see them doing that just to try to save face for drafting a guy in the 3rd round and then being like, wow, that guy we really kind of wanted to draft in the 1st round is there in the 5th round. I guess we got to draft him instead, right? Like that whole thing's going to blow up right in their face. But it's the Browns. They're used to it at this point, right? Like they are the ones that open the soda and it spills on their friggin' shirt every single time. It doesn't matter how much they tap the top.
I mean, their defensive line is going to be pretty good.
Super. Hopefully they can score all the touchdowns for him too. Hopefully they can lead the league in strip sack, fumble recoveries for touchdown. That might help them get there.
Who do you guys think will be quarterback?
Sanders.
Yeah, I think it's Sanders. I think it'll be Sanders at that point.
Not Joe Flacco?
He's already getting good reviews from rookie minicamp. So
if Flacco's a starter, it's because they got hot just like they did a couple years ago and they're on their way to the playoffs and they absolutely cannot take him out. And I do not see that.
They're scared to take him out.
I don't see that team being able to do it because here's the other thing about Cleveland. It's not just that they can't throw, okay? They also, get this, can't run. So if you can't run and you can't throw, what the hell can you do, right? Nothing. You better hope your defense is so unbelievably dominant that it carries you to so many wins that eventually your offense figures out how to be semi-competent because that's where they're at.
Rick Diaz. I'd like
probably
to meet
the
all
Giants
3 of these
game
in person in one of these games. What do you guys think?
Your Giants game is probably going to be your best bet for everybody because I think that's the one that we can all pretty much agree that we'd all end up being there. Mainly because you two don't have to. None of us have to worry about flights, right? Like
that's
I could take a train down maybe. So I don't know. Might stay at my friends on Long Island. Who knows? Might get crazy. Maybe I'll take a boat.
Yeah, like I like the sound of that. Like no flying.
No, I think I'm just gonna come. I'm gonna come down and hang out with your mom. Like I think she would be excited. To be quite honest with you.
That's a party.
Yeah, she'd be down.
100%.
Yeah,
she'd be down.
I don't want any sort of hotel breakfast. I want mom's breakfast.
That's right.
We'll have a nice little game day brunch and head over to the game. Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, that actually is a really good idea. All right, week 14 is our bye. It's later than we usually have it. I can't remember the last time we actually had like this late of a bye.
Late bye.
What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Matt.
Well, as long as they're not 3-10 at that time, great. Right? Like to me, if they're at all, let's say they're 7-6, and that to me is a word on that schedule. To me, 7-6 is the absolute worst case scenario, and that is in like when I mean worst case scenario, like really worst case scenario, right? I mean, I honestly expect them based on that schedule to be better than that.
Bebop, Niners play Chicago at Levi Stadium.
Yes.
We were getting to it.
It is still Soldier Field, but it'll be empty that day.
Get Ty.
Yeah. For the past couple of years, it seemed like we've always had a bye mid-year, and I've been wanting us to have a bye late because I think that helps us get fresh, later in the season, and we're fresh for that long playoff run. Right? It helps us. I think it just helps us because we've seen how this team comes off of a bye. They're like feeling refreshed and re-energized, and they're raring to go. And if they could come off a bye that late and just have 6 or 7 games to go to hoist the Lombardi, that plays in our favor. So if all goes well, no uniform malfunctions, no craziness, I think it's at the perfect time. I'm so happy to see it, especially with a lot of games we're playing at home and such. This season is pointing in our favor. I'm liking it.
Yeah, they're at the Browns before the bye, and then after the bye, it's week 15 at home versus the Titans.
Mm-hmm. Rookie QB, not much else.
I mean, that's all going to depend on Cam Ward at the time, right? Like, if he's healthy at that time and still upright, he might be in pretty decent shape, right? They might be in pretty decent shape because, again, the AFC South is not any sort of great shakes, right? And also, when a team comes off of a bye week, sometimes they're a little rusty, so maybe they're a little sloppy in the first half. That could happen too. So, I mean, when I bring up these things, like, I'm bringing up like the possible worst case scenarios. I don't expect any of these things to happen, but these are things I've seen happen before because I've been watching 49ers football for an extremely long time, and I've seen all the terrible things happen and all of the great things happen. So, just wanted to point some of those things out. And in this case, though, I think this should be a fairly easy win. It should be a nice knock the rust off, get right, and get ready, right? Because then that leads you right into the next week, which is Indy.
That's the Monday night versus Indy, right?
Yep.
No. After the Titans is the Bears game.
No, after the Titans is at Colts.
That's at Colts. And then the next Sunday night is
wrong.
against the Bears. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yes.
My stupid app wasn't reading right.
There we go. Good.
So Rick Diaz might go to this game, the Colts game.
That one's on the list, so I kind of have to go to that one. I don't really have a choice. My life is based off
It's
of
on
list,
the list.
So that's how that goes.
Yeah, Defoe, Mooney Ward.
Mooney.
What are you guys' thoughts on the Colts game?
Do they have a quarterback? Another team, right? Do they have a quarterback?
It's a really good question.
I mean, that game is simply stop the run and have some fun, which I think we'll do. Stop the run and have some fun. It'll be great.
That's another turf game.
Yep. Turf this year. But yeah, should be another win. Should be good. They're just not on our level. I'm sorry. They're not.
A lot of these teams this year, they're just not, not on our level.
Well, no teams are.
Right? Well, I mean, even look at the franchises themselves, right? That just to kind of go to
then that's the thing to me. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yes. There's a rarefied air. Like there's a certain room, right? There's a room with the cigars or like a little more. They're actually from Cuba, right? The cognac has actually been aged in a barrel for however many years, like where the beer is actually, beer, like those sorts of things. Like there's that room, right? And there's certain franchises that get to be in that room, and the 49ers are one of those franchises, right? And when you look at the schedule this year, There's not a marquee matchup where I'm like, oh damn, that's really cool. They haven't played them in a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they got a bunch of rebound dates this year. Like it's really, and I'm terrified to think like that, because when you think like that, you're like, eh. But there's not a single team on this schedule that makes you think, oh, damn, they've got no shot of winning that game. None.
Mm-hmm.
Week 17 versus the Bears.
The Bears.
That's Sunday Night Football.
This one should be fun. A rebuilt offensive line versus a rebuilt defensive line. Which front wins the battle? That's an intriguing matchup. Other than that, it's an offense that we know. We played against it, the past 2 years straight. A rebuilding team, young quarterback. We'll see where he's at that point in the season, right? Does he hit his sophomore slump, even though last year kind of has nowhere to go but up? But we're not traveling to Chicago this time and playing in the rain and all that
Pouring
crap.
rain.
We're at home. So I like that. Sunday night game, marquee matchup, two young quarterbacks, should be good.
What do you think, Matty?
Same thing, right? Just same sort of deal, right? Like, I think Chicago's going to be a much better team this year. I think they're going to be looking to try to go to the playoffs. I think they'll probably be one of the top two teams in the Central this year, based on kind of how things go in that division, right? Just the way I see things and the way like the natural degradation of teams usually goes. I think they'll be competing for a playoff spot at that time. I think that'll be a really tough game. I don't think it'll be flexed, and I think it's one that if you're going, I think that's a game that you're going to want to pay attention to and circle on your schedule. So I think it'll be a good one. The Bears really spent a lot of money this year. Caleb Williams, like, we can talk about how their year went. Like, the dude still threw for almost 3,600 yards last year. Had one of the greatest seasons for a Bears quarterback ever. I know that's not a high standard, but they have been around a very, very long time. And for him to do that in the midst of a 5-12 year is pretty freaking remarkable. So I think they're going to be much better this year. I think they'll be a gigantic pain in the ass. And that is a team that's going to be wanting to admit to people and show to a national TV audience. I don't know how many games the Bears have on national TV this year. They're going to want to prove to people that they belong, especially that late in the year.
Yeah, I think the Bears are going to have a pretty good year. I think the Pack, the Lions, and the Vikings actually take a step back this year. The Lions, obviously, because they lost their two coordinators, and one of them going right to the Bears to be their head coach. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting NFC North. Week 18 versus Seattle. So we have them week 1 at Seattle, week 18.
I know.
At home against Seattle.
I don't expect Seattle to be in any sort of playoff contention at that time. So to me, that is great news, right? Yep. I could see them being one of those teams that's trying to build towards next year so that they play all their, like, I would expect Jalen Milroe to be starting in that game. Like,
I was thinking that too.
If I were a betting man, I would be betting that Jalen Milroe starts in that game. That could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing. You never know. He may be starting way before that, but I would bet Jalen Milroe is probably starting in that game. And then we'll see how it works, right? Maybe it's down to Arizona and the 49ers in the last game of the year. So we'll see how it shakes out. Like, it's tough to. It's nice that both teams will kind of be there, and like, it's kind of neat to see them start and end with that. I kind of like that. It's a real measuring stick and a measuring stick.
Bebop says Ross the Boss.
Ross the Boss Dwelly is back.
Swear to God.
The difference maker.
Yeah, boy.
All right. So before we head out of here, what's your way too early
20-0.
prediction?
What Ty said, 20-0.
20-0.
20-0 Super Bowl straight shot all the way
You
through.
know.
I can't quite go that far. I'd probably go I'm gonna say 12-5. I think they get off to a typical slow start. Officials will probably cost them a couple of games because that's usually how it
What
works.
typical low slow start. We went 5-0 a couple of years ago.
Not last year. That was definitely an
Last year
exception to the
doesn't
rule.
count.
I know,
last
right?
Last year
doesn't
was
count.
just a ridiculous
before-
year.
Last year was
and
not
then-
typical.
Yeah, in 2023, like also wasn't typical, right? Like we had both ends of the spectrum, right? We had the high, we had the low, right? So usually there's a little bit, and there's a little bit of turnover this year, right? Like guys are, it's usually right in about the time where like things step up a little bit, and this is when the youngsters start to hit. And one of the youngsters will have a big play, and they'll be like, "Wow, that guy's awesome! How do we not know how awesome he is?" And then he'll be just awesome the whole way through, right? And it could be anybody. So it's just that's how it works. So I'm thinking like 12-5, win the NFC West, NFC title game appearance again. But I mean, at the end of the day, remember I have Super Bowl hotel reservations, so feeling
I
pretty
do as well.
confident.
So you're going.
Saying.
I'm gonna say right now, Wednesday, May 14th, 13-4.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right.
Right now. All right, last question. What advantage do we have going into the season?
We're refreshed. We are refreshed. We didn't have another long season. Guys get to get away, relax their bodies, relax their minds, and come back refreshed and hungry and healthier than they've been the past 4 seasons straight. That all bodes well for us, right? Guys will get back to playing 49ers football. And if that continues throughout the season, like I said, no wardrobe malfunctions. We don't say the I word. We don't want to jinx it. Look out. Look the F out.
Maddie?
Yeah, I mean, this schedule, like I said, is not. This is not set up to be like a real. This shouldn't be a Gilligan's Island sort of scenario. This really should be a 3-hour tour, in, out, every single game, right? Like I don't. When I look at almost all of those teams, I want everybody to do something tonight. I want you to look at all of those teams, and I want you to ask yourself, which one of those teams has a quarterback that's better than Brock Purdy?
It's a good point.
Hell, shit, you could have did that last year and the year before.
Absolutely, but this year even more so.
Like-
This year it's even
Definitely
even
this
more
year,
like
because
this
yeah.
season specifically, it's very
there's teams
very
with question marks.
stark, right? They're legitimate.
Yeah.
If you don't have one quarterback, or if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have any, right? Like, look at New Orleans. They have 3 quarterbacks right now. They don't even know who it's going to be. So they can, they could say they're going to start the second rounder, but maybe they wait. Maybe he doesn't look that great. Also, that's a guy that had 2 season-ending injuries in college, so it's not like the dude is. And now you're going to put him on the Superdome turf. Nobody's ever gotten injured on that before.
I know, right?
Everybody forgets about Super Bowl 20. Literally, it was the first play of the game. The Patriots drop back to pass. They throw it to their wide open tight end, and he can't catch the ball. Why can't he catch the ball? Because when he went to jump up to catch it, his ACL
He
tore.
blew out his ACL. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they've just made it a little bit like I think they've made the grass blades a little bit longer since then. Honestly, so
All right.
They've improved the turf, but it's still turf. Like,
right. But to go back to the
You
original
know what I'm
question,
saying?
just to tie that up, 100%. Like, just go back and look. Who is
Oh yeah.
who's better? Who's the quarterback matchup in that game? Well, if we see BA this year, or when we see BA this year, that'll be interesting. Like, that's something to think of. I didn't mean to cut you off, Jess, but I was just thinking about this
That's
out
okay.
loud. I'm not sure how long PUP is. I think it's 6 weeks, right?
I thought it was
Yeah.
4.
It's 4 or 6. So if it's 4, then somebody would be coming back week 5. If it's 6,
Yeah.
somebody would be coming back week 7. So
I'm pretty sure it's 4.
something to keep in mind there in terms of games and things and play. So and that may not set up well for him to come back. So if he does go on PUP, that Thursday night game is against the Rams, right? So you're going to have a Sunday nighter for week 4, and then you're going to have a Thursday nighter against the Rams. That's not gonna. I wouldn't expect him to make his. If he does go on PUP, I wouldn't expect him to make his debut until week 6.
Yeah.
Also,
That would be a good time.
That's
Also,
on the road
lastly-
at Tampa.
yep. And lastly, one thing on that Rams game, just the fact that it's like, just a quick it's like a Catalina wine mixer, down and back, right? Down, back.
Mhm.
Like they're just going up and down the coast. Like that's the easiest Thursday night game like you're probably gonna
Yeah.
get,
Yeah.
right? Like in terms of like unless you're Rams Chargers or something like that,
Mhm.
there's not much else that you're gonna beat that. That's even better than flying to Seattle and back. So
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to that hurry up offense and the 2-minute warning. Go ahead, Maddie.
make sure you reach out to Jess on her social media and on the ECRG Niners social media. Get your requests in for that Dwight Clark Legacy ticket for next week. It's a good ticket. You want to make sure you go. I think Diamador Lenore is getting an award, so you're definitely going to see him
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Also,
Yep.
Michael Zagaris is going to be nominated.
Yes.
The legendary
That's a
photographer.
huge thing.
So
Yeah.
you really want to be there for that. Also, Niners WO on the social media. DM me, and I will get you tickets for games this year. Chicago's off the board, but I think almost everything else home-wise will be available.
You said Indy as well. Well, you're going,
Indy's
that's
on-
not a home game. That's
That's a
home
road game,
right?
so I am
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ty.
Yeah. The schedule's finally here. Thank goodness. My goodness. Everybody make travel plans. If you're coming to New York, hit us up. Like, we'll stop by. We'll say hey. We love to meet the people, shake hands, kiss babies, all that good stuff. And yeah, this should be a fun season. So go Niners.
We do not play the Patriots this year.
Nope.
Yeah, so what Ty said, schedule's out, fun time of year, get to plan. Guys are coming to the Giant game, please come and say hello. We'll be there. Other than that, we'll see you next week. Shout out to the chat. DM me for that ticket to the Dwight Clark event next Wednesday, May 21st. And go Niners.
Go Niners. See you, everybody.
And of course, for the upstart 49ers, they're 6 yards away from Pontiac. 3rd and 3.
We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly.
Montana looking, throwing in the